people. Let's talk about this new episode today. And please, if you are an international student and you are looking for opportunities where you can maybe move abroad next year, this next year I'm talking about is February, because, of course, in some countries abroad, this is something many people do not know. If you want to study next year from February, there is a possibility for you. Then, if you want to study next year from September, there is also a possibility for you. But what you need to know is that if you really want to study in any country abroad, there is something we call research. And I always emphasize on this research thing because I actually understand how this thing works. That is why I am here often to give you the information so you can also do your own maybe 5 or 10% research. Then you apply for a university. Please do not force it out and try to apply for a school or maybe a country where your budget is not going to carry you. This is why sometimes when you come to me for one-on-one appointment, I always ask these questions first. How much budget do you have? I don't ask these questions because I need the millions you need. I always ask this question because I know there are things involved. And of course, if you really want to study abroad, come next year, that is to say February or September, depending on which one you are looking at, then you need to start now. Now, I'm going to tell you some things that you need to know about certain countries in Europe, that in case you are thinking, okay, I have done a lot of videos on my platforms, anyone you are watching me from, but I will encourage you to watch the longer versions of my videos on YouTube so you actually understand the things I'm doing. Now, if you go to my channel, you are going to see a video about Austria. If you want to study in Austria, these are the things that you need to know, the facts you need to know about Austria. One, Austria is very cheap. When I say it's very cheap, you are paying per semester, not per year. And per semester in most state universities in Austria, you are going to pay at least 726 euros per semester, and you are going to be paying 2 semesters in 1 academic year. Now, this is what you need to put into consideration. Austria is a good country, a developed country, road network is good, a very good country, okay? You can move with your family. Then, if you want to apply for some Austrian universities, like the language in school is English, but most Austrian cities, or maybe let me say the suburbs, they also speak German. That is to tell you that Austria and Germany, they have a link together. But do you need the language if you really want to integrate, stay back, maybe get a passport or citizenship? Yes. Do you really need the language if you want to study in Austria as an international student? No. So all you need to do is to make sure you meet English proficiency and then apply for a program that is taught in English language exclusively. Now, this is what you need to know. Make sure you verify if the program is asking for IELTS. That is option number 1. You already know the tuition fee. Verify the tuition, like the tuition you are going to pay, because some universities in Austria are private institutions. That is why I stated before that public universities will not charge you a lot of money. Now, before you even apply, you need your documents. The documents, you have to legalize them, except otherwise stated, but for now everything says that you have to legalize your documents. So the legalization goes as thus. I have done a couple of videos on the channel. Go to my YouTube channel, watch the videos on how much you need for the legalization process, and of course what is the procedure you need to take. For Cameroonians it's different, from Nigerians it's different, for other nationalities it's different. Okay, I also talk to those who are coming from Cameroon that you need to begin from the GCE board if you are going to use your O and A level certificate. The videos are on the channel. Please verify them from there, and remember, you need to go through appointments. You need to do authentication, verification, and legalization. Those from Cameroon and Ghana, you are going to be using VFS Global, because of course the Austrian embassy is only in Nigeria. Please do not forget this, because even if you apply to a school without legalizing your documents, at the end of the day you still have to do this procedure. Now, what is the need of maybe starting an application whereas you haven't gone to the embassy to legalize your documents, which you still have to do it before you can apply for a visa? It's going to be a waste of time, and if you are not careful, you might not apply for the visa. So I will encourage you Do it first, then you apply. Money is involved. So that is point number one. If you must migrate to Austria, that is something you should note. Accommodation is also very difficult to get, and you need the confirmation for accommodation to apply for your visa. Once you get admissions, pay your tuition, and you are ready to go for visa stage. That is Austria. Country number two is Belarus. Do I advise people to go to Belarus? No. Is Belarus a good country? Yes. The reason is because most international students are people who are struggling as well, and they are trying to build a name for themselves, and they are also trying to help other people. Going to a country that is going to hold you stagnant is not a good option because of probably job opportunities and the way the country is structured. It is a good country, but I cannot recommend. The next country I want to talk to you about is Belgium. Nigerians, remember, NECO is not accepted in most Belgian universities, and for you to really get into Belgian universities, you have to write IELTS. Yes, there is a possibility that you can apply without the IELTS exam, but I always encourage people that go get the IELTS exam if you really want to move to Belgium in 2026. Now, another thing I want you to know about Belgium is that some institutions are now asking for what we call blocked account. Ghent University is an example. If you are applying for any school in Belgium, try and make sure that you verify the program website or the university's website thoroughly, because there might be a position there talking about this blocked account thing. Blocked account to Belgium is now up to 11,000 euros, but the advantage here is that Belgian universities are quite affordable. There are schools you can study in Belgium under 2,000 euros. But IELTS, like I always say, is very important. If you have it, there is a possibility for you to apply to many schools. There are some universities in Belgium that have nursing programs. In subsequent videos, I'm going to try to fish them out, especially when admissions is open. If you want to apply to Belgium early, there is a popular university called Ghent University, and Ghent University is quite affordable. But remember, they do not accept second class, lower and third class students. So if you must apply to Ghent, then you have to structure yourself, make sure your results are great, and you are good to go. Another thing with Belgium is Belgium have sections. There is the French section and there is the English section. Okay, and if you must go to Belgium, please understand that Belgium is also a very strong country. It's also a good country. After studies, you are going to get stay back visa to search for a job. So it now depends on you. If you ask my opinion, should I go to Belgium or should I go to France? I will tell you go to Belgium. Belgium is like the brother to Luxembourg, though they are connected, Belgium, France, and Luxembourg. But somehow I will choose Belgium over France and Luxembourg over Belgium. I hope you understand. Now, another country I want to talk about. Admissions is going to start in Austria for next year, September 2026 intake from March, April, around February, March, and April. Then in Belarus, it's still the same thing in case you still decide to go from next year, February. Then for Belgium, admissions is starting this October with Ghent University. I think Ghent is open around November. So guys, these are the countries you need to know. In case you want to migrate, you need to know all these things, dot your I's, and put a lot of things into consideration. I didn't talk about proof of funds for Austria because there is a video on the channel. There are two options, probably three options for Belgium. Either you do blocked account, or you get a fully funded scholarship, or you look for someone who is living and studying in working in Belgium, not studying but working, who can do a affidavit of support for you. Okay, there is a video on the channel like that, and stay tuned and make sure you prepare your document. Do not forget that for Belgium, if you are coming from Nigeria and Cameroon, you have to get legalization. You must do legalization for your academic documents in order to apply for visa. There are some universities that you shouldn't apply to them without legalizing your document. Ghent University is an example. There is a possibility for you to apply to Belgium without necessarily legalizing your documents. Okay, but if you apply without legalizing them, understand that you still have to legalize the documents no matter what you do to apply for visa. The procedure is not the same in both countries, maybe Cameroon, Nigeria, or Ghana. In Cameroon, you have to go through tireless contact in order for them to take the documents to the Belgian embassy. Okay, there is money involved. So before you reach TLS contact, you must have gone through the competent authorities, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Cameroon. This is for Cameroonians. It is not the same for other nationalities. Okay, so please verify how the process of authentication works in your various countries. Now, the next country you should be looking at is Bulgaria. Bulgaria is for those who do not have enough money. Is Bulgaria up to standard like some of these big countries in Europe, like maybe Germany, Belgium, and maybe Sweden? No, Bulgaria is not up to that standard. But the advantage here is that this country has joined the EU, and equally, there is a possibility that you can study for under 1,800, 2,000 euros per academic year. But you should also pay attention to universities in Bulgaria, because since it is cheap, international students are now trying to flock in there. And from what I noticed lately, their ministry is trying to reduce the number of students coming into Bulgaria. Also understand that some schools do not accept age limit, and some schools also talk about study gap. Okay, they always talk about these things. Verify the school website thoroughly if you really want to know more about this. Bulgaria, the process is so rigorous, and you still need to do this authentication. And for Bulgaria, it's even more difficult because you are doing it directly with the Bulgarian embassy. So for those of you in Cameroon, there is no way you have to succeed with this without going to Nigeria. And also understand that after Nigeria, your documents still need to go back to Bulgaria for the Ministry of Education in Bulgaria to confirm them before you will get those documents back, and equally with admissions letter and probably accommodation proof before you can apply for visa. So before you start this process, please note that Milton said the process is rigorous, but it is worth it if at the end of the day you manage and you find your way to Europe. I always emphasize on the fact that it is good for you to go to the European Union or the Schengen zone, because even if you are going to Bulgaria and Bulgaria is not a good country and you manage to study in there, you can always apply for jobs in the other EU countries, and you just use a train or a plane or you move. But if you go to a country which is not within the Schengen or European Union, now you will have to, when you finish from that country, you will have to apply for another visa again. That is a problem, guys. What if you do not get a visa? You still need to spend money for visa application. Look, all these things, I didn't know them in 2015. That was why I made so many errors. And now I was talking to somebody yesterday one-on-one, and I told her that, look, these things I'm telling you, if someone told me all of this in 2015, the mistakes I did, I wouldn't have maybe done those mistakes. You understand? Like, maybe we went through them. But it's not too late. Some of us, we are trying to structure ourselves now. And the only thing you need to do is structure yourself very well within the ecosystem, and of course, you are going to strive better. Now, to those who are going to high school, okay, you have to think very well and make sure you follow my instructions, follow my teachings, do your own 5 to 10% research, then before you apply for any country. I hope these videos will help you. Now, if you do not have money for Bulgaria, I talked about Bulgaria before, and I said if you are going to Bulgaria, you should understand that after you apply for your visa and move to Bulgaria, you still need documentation to apply for residence permit. The video is on the channel. If you need the link, comment below, someone will drop it for you. And if you have a question, let somebody or drop it in the comment section. And of course, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, you book a call with me. The link is below. I make these videos here because I want you to listen to me, do your own research, then you apply for your stuff yourself. Keep your millions in your bank account. Even if you must pay people to get your admissions or do some things for you, you can pay them. But the big millions, keep them in your accounts, because I do not want people to start telling me, oh, Milton, this person did this person did this. No, I'm not here to solve people's problem. I'm here to share information to help people, all right? Do it themselves. Now, the next country we are going to talk about is Czechia, which is Czech Republic. Now, I did some videos last year about Czech Republic where the process was still a bit easy and appointments were still very possible. I'm not saying appointments is not possible. Appointment is very difficult now. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who recently relocated to the Czech Republic. Now, what you need to know is that it's either you apply from Nigeria or Ghana, but most people are getting appointments from Ghana. Now, the same thing like Czech Republic, Portugal is also doing it. What happens? They are giving appointments now based on slots. Like they can just say, okay, in this month we have just 50 people to accept, and we will be doing voting, something like that, right? So you really need to be careful. It's not just about just putting an application to any country. It's about knowing the country you want to migrate to and asking yourself, does this country has visa issues? Because right now, even the Netherlands that usually did not have or do not have issues with appointments, bookings, and all of that, now to get appointment is a problem. If you do not book from time, then may be late for lectures, right? I have people who are coming here, they are still waiting for appointment dates in September, so they will definitely be late for school. But that is not a big deal, because of course they are going to still come in early before November. So I'm just explaining these things so you know. Czech Republic, you have to do notification, super legalization. Before the super legalization, you must have done the other processes of authentication. Okay, so just stay glued. I also did a video few days back explaining all these things. There are universities in Czech that you can study for under 4,000 euros, 3,000. There are even some that you can study for 500 euros. There are programs at Czech University of Life Sciences that cost at least 500 euros. Yes, some universities are even free. I think University of Hradev Králov is free of charge. I'm still going to talk about all of this. There are videos on the channel, but there are some things that have changed already. So appointment is a problem first for Czech Republic, but you can get it. If you start early, you can always get it and succeed. Okay, so I will advise you to begin early. The next country I want to talk about is Denmark, but this is going to be in another video. In case you want to move abroad this year, these videos are for you, and Denmark and some other countries will follow very soon. I hope this helps you. We meet again in another one.